Great afternoon. It is the Eliminator. The Eliminator 1 of the Rwanda Women's T20 Cup, and to see who gets through to play the Eliminator 2 and to get through to the finals. And today's encounter, Muhanga Zebras up against Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club, alongside the third umpire to officiate the toss, Rosine Irera from Sorwathe and Nadine from Muhanga Zebras. Rosine being the home captain, and will do the flip. Head is the call. Tails it is. Rosine winning the toss. What are you going to do first and why?
You're going to bat first.
see herself off strike, and that is a great thing going into this game. And to bowl over number 2, Nakuzge Dorian to bowl from the road end. Dorian to bowl the first delivery, tossed up, and that will be defended. Again, the intent from the batters. Not sure how long they will keep on doing that, but Rosin, oh good lord, a shout and no hesitation from the umpire. The finger is up, and the first wicket is down for Sorwathe Women's. Nakuzge Dorian gets a breakthrough way earlier. It is the captain, shot number 42, and is out LBW. And of course, having a look at that again, I think there is no harm because Rosin opted to go for a sweep and misses that one. But again, sweep shot comes along with that. It is you miss, I hit. Rosin missed straight into the pads, and boom. Violet Wimana to come in, joining Shimge Jihozo Divin, who had faced the first over. It is a 0 for 1, nothing yet on board. Muhanga Zebras yet to even give away freebies, extras, nothing. Violet, and such an interesting tactic, starting off with a spin bowling. And of course, they have got them. They've got Wimana Dian again, left arm spinner. They've got spinners and again medium bowlers. Bowlers who bowls seam, of which I think will give a hard time Sorwathe. Sorwathe batters. We mana Violet, bit of outside off stump, and dot ball again. These two, yes, Violet being known at trying to maximize the power play. Yet to see what she is about to offer, and tries to go for a single and sneaks in one. Single is taken, and as they open their runs account, Violet gets off the mark and runs on board. At least now we've got someone who wants to try and rotate the strike way early. The punch straight to the fielder, but not convincing. As we get to the end of the second over, 2 overs down, 1 for 1. The very same over that went for just 1 run. Sorwathe women's having someone like Sylvia who will come in later on. And again, Sylvia, who is on 7th position in the batting leaderboard with an average of 25, with a healthy strike rate of 128. Again, this follows the half century that she managed to hit the previous week. And this is hit down the ground, up and over, and that will race away to the boundary as we witness the first boundary of Sorwathe Women's and the first one for Violet Uwimana. Such a lovely shot, straight as an arrow. And yes, we are still in the power play. Of course, that's the way to go. Having only two fielders outside the inner ring, having deployed up in the air, and that will be taken. That will be it for Violet Uwimana. Not patient enough to keep that particular shot and to play it down the ground. And ends up giving that one to Georgette Ingabire, who was at point region, and takes that one comfortably. And Violet goes for 5 off just 6 deliveries. We are still in the power play. Inside 3 overs, 2 wickets taken with 5 runs on board. And something that Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club, the batters, something they will be asking themselves. Such question. How do we keep going? How do we put runs on board? And of course, Isimbi Henriette comes in to join Ishimwe Gihozo Dividne, who is yet to get off the mark after facing 7 deliveries. And in terms of runs, she's on not 5 for 2 after 2.3. It is Anastasia Mushimimana who strikes in her very second over. And Simbi Henriette, again, a big hitter of the cricket ball. But this time round, after losing 2 wickets inside 3 overs, not sure if she can start going that route, as in still too early, and she is that someone who needs to make sure that she builds the inning. That was a wide delivery. Asking questions to the stumps is Anastasia, and a dot ball it will be. But from that particular boundary from Violet Uwimana, leg glance, finds a short fine leg fielder for just a single to complete over number 3. 7 runs on board after losing 2 wickets. Nakuzge Darian to continue from the road end, bowling over number 4. Run out opportunity and not taken. Very sloppy by Alice Kuzwe at mid of region. And the Symbian Red can only do so much. Sneaks in a single. And the more she stays in, the more she takes her time inside there, the better she gets and the more she finds those boundaries, because she can hit that cricket ball hard. Tossed up, and that is hit through the gap, and this should be a double. And Georgette in the deep does the fielding, hunting in pairs, making sure that nothing slips away at all. And Sorwathe, having finished the third with 7 points, in again having won 3 games, lost 1, and the other game was abandoned, with Muhanga Zebras again finishing 4th with 4 points, again with 2 wins, 3 losses, and 1 game was abandoned. Again, Sorwathe depending on three batters. Rosine Idera, who was dismissed in the very first over, as well as Isimbi Henriette and Sylvia Usabyimana, who earned herself a half century last weekend. That was not connected well, but allowed themselves to go for a double. Again, Sylvia at the back there will have to make sure that if she makes her way in, tries to give her all and give some runs to the team, pardon. Because when Sorwathe Women's were playing against Indatwa Maidens, 4 wickets in the power play were down, and Sepimana Sylvia had to come in and bridge the gap, build the inning until Sorwathe managed to put some runs on board and again managed to win the game. Again, Sorwathe playing against Alice Kuzwe, who used to be in the team and again grew up in the same neighborhood with everybody in Sorwathe women's team, having started playing this game with so many players in the team, played for Sorwathe, and this time around had joined Muhanga Zebras, and again contributing to the team big time in terms of runs as well as wickets with the ball in hand. Again, for as long as you can be playing against the people that you grew up with, again, the feeling that is properly hit, but oh, good Lord, a chance in the deep. And guess who puts that one down? The captain herself. She normally doesn't put a lot down. She normally is a great fielder, particularly in the deep. And this time around, CB Henriette giving a chance, and chance went begging. The chance went begging just like that, in a blink of an eye, and the captain drops a sitter, I might say. And chances will come, like this one, and this one is taken. When chances arrives, when chances knocks on your door, what do? You can only get ready for anything that comes your way. As Ishimwe Yozo Divin gets dismissed, Shimime and Anastasia doing the business. Just a loose ball like that, but not punished, but hit straight into the bowler's hands, and the bowler had to take that one comfortably. It wasn't hit that hard. The ball was tossed up, and to me, those are the deliveries you've got to maximize. And 4 runs facing 13 deliveries, not good enough in terms of the strike rate. And after 4.5, it is a 15 for 3. Talking about chances and chances of catches as well, you've got to be ready and ready to take anything, as the captain will be moving out. That is hit, and it is racing away to the boundary. And what a way to get off the mark. That is Sylvia Usabjimana. We just talked about her and her intent from the word go. And this is it. Trying so hard that it was hit. It wasn't connected well, but it was hit. Bit of inside edge, but that raced away quickly into the boundary. 19 for 3 after 5. Sylvia Usabjimana and Isimbi Henriette, the two will have to do the job for Sorwathe. Can they keep going as they cross 100, as the captain said at the toss? We can only wait and see how this turns out to be. And that is hit. Apesh. Not enough legs to get to the boundary, as in cow corner and long on fielders converge to make sure that they restrict that particular shot to get to the boundary. It is Nakuzwe Dorian bowling her third from the road end. And Sylvia tries to go after that one. Oh, good Lord. Very, very sloppy in the dip. Deborah Owase being the culprit to allow that particular shot to get through the hands into the boundary. Sylvia gets another, and Sorwathe gets another boundary. Nakuzwe Dorian, and that is hit through the gap, and they should race all the way to the boundary. And Sylvia turning things down here. Back to back boundaries. And Nakuzwe Dorian offering width. And Sylvia can only do so much. Dispatches that one through the gap and finds another boundary. Look at that. Gives herself room through the offside. And the outfield doing justice for Sylvia as she gets another in only 3 balls, 9 runs. Same delivery, but different approach, different shot displayed. And Sylvia straight 12 of 4 deliveries. Doing so well and trying to finish the power play on a high note. And that is hit powerfully up in the air, one bounce into the boundary. And it is a 3 in the over. And guess who? It's Sylvia making her presence felt in this particular encounter this afternoon. Sorwathe women are trying to cruise as they wanted 100 plus. Can they get there? But with the look of things, Sylvia trying to push, as well as Isimbe Henriette. And again, things would turn out to be very nice for Sorwathe if Isimbi joins as well. Not chewing balls, not conceding. So, cleans her over. It is Nakuzwe Dorian who gets the last laugh. And again, Sylvia not very patient enough to keep her wicket, to allow herself to face the next over. Exposes her stumps, goes across the line, and the Timbers were disturbed. It is a 32 for 4 after 6 overs. Look at that. Exposes the stumps and through the gate. Not so happy with what she did. But again, it happens. But you've got to keep thinking about what is next. Such a lovely over. 3 boundaries in the over. But perishes. 32 for 4 after 6 overs. And Ali Sikuzwe comes into the attack. Comes into the attack from the Mount end. And Alice Ikuzwe yet to concede a run in the over. And Simbi Henriette trying to go after Alice. And not a bad approach at all. But again, as someone who is set, someone who is a batter in there, how well can you help in terms of building the inning? And again, yes, you've got to let the scoreboard keep ticking. Again, you've got a lot at stake if your wicket is gone, because Josiane Nyinamundineza joins Simbi Henriette, offering width just outside off stump. And hits that one cleanly. And very good effort in the dip. Deborah Owasen this time round does the fielding, despite the misfield that happened when she was at long one. Pardon, cow corner. She was at cow corner and allowed that ball to go through her legs into the boundary. After 7 overs, a 33 for 4. Ngabire Georgette ball from the wrong end. Up in the air, the ball lands safely. Half chances keeps coming in. Georgette starting off with a short pitch delivery, not allowing CB Henriette to go after her. That's hit straight to Wasi Deborah at a point region for another dot ball. Again, Simbi Henriette not timing that ball very well, because the two goes hard down the ground, and that will find the boundary, finds the gap, and finds the boundary. Such a lovely attempt. And in the vacant region, again, balls down the leg. And that's the only thing that CB Henriette can offer in terms of runs, in terms of getting runs, boundaries. That should be wide, as in trying to leak, team leaking some runs, of which I feel extras now won't be an issue, as in everyone here will be trying so hard to get through to play tomorrow morning, and whoever wins here would play against whoever loses in qualifier 1 in that Hampshire is currently taking on Gahanga Queens. Whoever loses will play against whoever wins in this particular encounter. That's up in the air, and that should be taken, and it is taken comfortably. Deborah Owase takes the catch at a point region. Muhanga Zebras not wasting so much time this afternoon, as in any chance given to them, they will make sure that they take it. And another one bites the dust, and it is Simbi Henriette who perishes. The score now reading 38-5. Simbi Henriette leaves Nyirangundineza Josiane hanging as Georgette Ingabire strikes in her very first. Georgette to continue. And a dot ball to end over number 8. It is 38-4. And again, Ikuswe Alice as well, cashing in now in terms of runs, pardon, in terms of wickets, trying to get some. Did not do a lot in terms of runs, but her 60 in the very first game against Indata Maidens powered her 129 run, as she is the second at the batting chart with an average of 25, striking it at 94. Where will she finish? And that dropped shot in front of a cover fielder. And now Kamire Apumusa comes in to join Nyirangundineza Josiane. How will, oh good Lord, just before I finish, to talk about how far the two can go and how far can the two push the team. And Alice strikes straight on the timbers. Look at that. The ball swung in and came back hitting the off stump. And Kamire Apumusa trying to go across the line, misses the trick. and we'll head back into the dugout for not off or for deliveries. It is Kuzgue Alice who strikes this early. And Sorwathe losing their sixth as the score reads 39. Not good enough for sure. As in, they have got to keep pushing. Still 11.2 overs to go. But can the batters left behind, can they keep things going? As Alice comes in, that's up in the air. Just over the infield. And the captain, not the jump wasn't that enough to take the catch. And 40 score reads 40 for 6 after 9 overs. The biggest of the overs was over number 6 that went for 13 when Sylvia was still in, but again ended up with a wicket. Sylvia ended up giving away her wicket. And Georgette Ingabire comes back from the road end. And Gasana Jisubizo can only do so much. Again, coming in at number 8, trying to push, trying to get some runs for the team. But again, is she the right candidate to go in and get runs for Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club? Again, that comes back to the batting department. How well do you execute the skill itself? And how well do you execute the shots? Because all the dismissals we've got, it is either playing across the line and trying to overhit the ball and edges it and ends up giving an opportunity, of which Muhanga Zebras, they are not turning back on any opportunity. Such a lovely over this is. Only 2 runs, including a wide delivery. And Georgette bowling the second and picked up 1 wicket, having conceded only 7. But again, extras again. Of course, you're trying to give away some. Actually, you're giving away extras. And for Sorwathe Women's, they will be happy, as in runs are rarely coming, of which that is working in Sorwathe's favor. And Muhanga Zebras can only minimize extras. And they keep it tight and tighter. Asking questions to the stumps will be very crucial. As in, the first wicket was an LBW. That shows how straight the bowlers are bowling. We even saw some old dismissals, and that shows you how straight the bowlers are bowling. and keeping it tight will be now tightening those lines going forward as Alice comes into the attack after picking up that wicket in her previous over. And halfway the innings, 43 for 6 is what the scoreboard is reading. Sorwathe still needs to do whatever it takes to give themselves a chance, because with the way things are looking at this particular stage of the game, Sorwathe losing the trick. And a lovely delivery. You could see Alice trying to get that delivery that comes back into the batter, but misses the off stump. And look at that, how in the world that can miss the stumps, few inches, and the ball goes through the gate, the batter and the stumps. The ball goes in between. Nyinamundineza Josiane. Nyinamundineza Josiane, we can say, with the experience she possesses, again, the experience we are talking about is the experience with the ball in hand. Oh, good Lord, such an opportunity. And there is no one in there to catch that. It was put down, the gully fielder not showing the intent, not putting in so much effort to go in and take that particular opportunity. After 11 overs, it is a 44 for 6. Sana Gisuizo again gets nothing. And oh, good Lord, Kasana Gisuizo gets a boundary. And guess what? It is Darian Nakuzwe who gets very sloppy at mid-on. The ball goes over her head and finds the boundary. And again, that comes along with how ready are you in the field of play? How focused are you? It is the question. As Kasana Yisuzo moves to 7 of 15 deliveries, Georgette, yes, she is offering full and width at some point, and the batters can only try and go after such deliveries, because that's the only way to get some runs. The strike rotation not coming in, not very handy with the strike rotation. tries to swing the bat, as in the Muhanga Zebras having only one fielder outside the inner ring at deep square leg. And of course, these should be a double. And Sorwathe will be happy for the double, as in this over they have got so far 7 runs, very handy as they get to their 50 mark. 50 is up for Sorwathe Women's. Tossed up, and those will be wide. Georgette trying to buy wickets. You could see it's not that because wickets are not coming, you have got to try by all means to buy wickets. You've got to keep the lines, keep the lengths right. And of course, a time will come when the right delivery gives you the results at a particular given time. 52 for 6 after 12 overs. And the table standings, Gahanga Queens on 10 points, that's Hampshire on 7, Sorwathe as well on 7, with Muhanga Zebras on 4 points, with Charity being on the 5th position with only 2 points, and in that one Maidens winless in the tournament so far on not. But yes, it has been a great experience in Division 1, making their maiden appearance in the tournament. And what they've achieved will keep them going in the very next tournament. Having played a full 20 overs in so many occasions, having bowled out teams in so many occasions, and again, one of the bowlers having taken 6 wickets. Again, those are positives. And I'm very sure in that Maiden's dugout, a lot to be appreciated. And hoping to see them coming in the next tournament with their batting having improved. That will give them a chance now to be competitive. And again, in terms of their batting, Kasana Gisubizo gets single. Pardon, it is Nyiramudineza Josiane again trying to cash in as Kasana Gisubizo comes on strike. 9 of 18 deliveries. That should give you an idea of how well Kasana Gisubizo is surviving. The captain, Nadine, and that is hit powerfully. But again, Alice messes up in the deep. That was going to be just a single. And Alice gives one run, adding to that first single to make it a double. Not doing so well in terms of runs, but the wickets column again tells a different story. Oh, the captain cleans her over. It is Nzaiturichi Nadine who gets the first wicket of the last delivery of her very first over. And the wickets being 7 now. How far can Sorwathe go after 13 overs? 55 for 7. And Owase Denise comes in again to join Nyirahundineza Josiane, who is on 2 of 6 deliveries. And Josiane tries to sneak in some runs, and they will get a double here as Deborah Owase comes in to bowl over number 14. Owase Deborah, shot number 15. A youngster, an under 19 prospect. Again, being given an opportunity to play these games, to play such competitive games here in Division 1. Again, that tells you a lot on what the youngster can offer to the game of cricket. Again, those will be extras. And on the other hand, just to take you through what is happening all over the globe now in Botswana, where the Rwanda men's national team are playing, trying to qualify for the Africa finals. It is the World Cup qualifiers, the regional qualifiers. Now, Rwanda playing their last game against the host Botswana, and Rwanda, having won the toss and chose to bat first. Rwanda on 53 for 3 in 9.4 overs. And Rwanda yet to lose a game in the tournament. And if Rwanda gets through this one, wins against Botswana, Rwanda will emerge champions and they automatically qualify. But again, losing this game again will put Rwanda in deep troubles as we get another boundary here. Josiane Nyirangundineza finds a boundary, right? Hitting that over the infield over point for a boundary. And Rwanda losing this one will put Rwanda in deep troubles as Botswana have lost one, Kenya have lost one, and Rwanda now, and here the net run rate will come in to decide who gets through. And after 14 overs, it is a 62 for 7. And I take a look at the warm there, the fall of wickets, and they've been recovering so much that now they're trying to bring the game back to life. Josiane Nyirangundineza pushing through, and now he will be on strike. The captain brings herself back into the attack, starts off with a dotted delivery. Denise will try to swing the bat. Again here, in most occasions, people will come in trying to get those boundaries in. Again, when boundaries are not coming, what do you do? How do you adjust is the question. Because you've got to keep the scoreboard ticking. You've got to rotate the strike more often. And from there, you're good to go. Because Sorwathe here, having Sylvia, having Rosine Idera with her off spin and leg spin of Sylvia. That's uppish, but this will only be a single. Nyirangundineza pushing through and making sure that the partner keeps things in play, keeps her wicket to at least give themselves a chance to play full 20 overs. Because from there, as the current run rate reads 4, and the projected score will be 85, which I feel 85 with a very good bowling. 85 will be massive. I've been seeing games being won defending 80s, 90s, of which I feel seems very, very possible going forward into this afternoon's encounter. After 15 overs, 63 for 7. Now into the last 5 overs. Sorwathe women's dugout. The coaches, Simbi Henriette, the captain as well. They're looking relaxed. still trying so hard to keep things going. And again, the support from the dugout, trying to ask the batters what to do and how to adjust accordingly. Nastasi Mushimimana comes back, and that was hit. Josiane and Denise are trying to look for two, but settles for just a single. Nastasi comes in to bowl her last. She did 13, picked up 2 wickets, and with 5 more deliveries, how tight can she get? And again, how tight the batters can be, because for as long as you need to get tight as a bowler, the batters also needs runs on board. Allowed appeal, but the umpire thinks otherwise. Not sure what kind of a shot Josiane wanted to attempt on that particular occasion. Hits that down the ground, but the power behind the shot again cannot allow the ball to travel. Such a lovely delivery. And gets nothing with the one more delivery to come. Complete her spell. Such a lovely, lovely spell. And hits that one powerfully, but finds Alice, who does the fielding and allows them to go for just one. And 16 overs down, 65 for 7. And on a Saturday, not a lot of movements at Gahanga International Cricket Stadium. And on a weekend, and again on a Saturday of Umuganda, not a lot of movements, but again somewhere to sit on a weekend afternoon after Umuganda, coming in about some cricket. And as well as watch 2 games at once, because Ground A has a qualifier 1 going on, and that's Hampshire taking on Gahanga Queens. Dot balls keep piling up as the captain again, who wanted to bowl first if she had won the toss. And of course, starting with a spin. And again, a spin did their best from the start. They made sure that they get in control of the power play from the start, because Muhanga Zebras were in control of the first 6 overs. Later on, when Sylvia Usabimana came in, tried to push some overs as well as she was getting runs. And even until now, Josiane is still pushing through to see if they can get into the 3 figures. That was pitched up. Ball is racing away. Who wins the race? They pick up just a double. And Nzaituriki Nadine will have to make it even tighter, because that was a full toss. Not well treated, because this time round, after that delivery, it gets through the gate, bowls it too straight to find the Timbers. And another wicket down, 69 for 8. Too straight through the gate, and the Timbers are scattered. Denise go after facing 9. And it is Nyinahundineza Josiane who keeps hanging, stays hanging on 10 of 20 deliveries. And how well can she keep pushing the batters to at least push to the 20th over and see how far they can go? Can they get into the 3 figures? That's the question to ask, and we can only find out later on. And last delivery to complete over number 17. And we'll finish with Adotpo, 69 for 8. And Alice will be coming in to bowl over number 18. Alice running in, offering width and too much on the offside, and will allow Sorwathe to get a run, adding to the total now into the 70s. Can they get 30 more runs from the next 3 overs? But again, that is very doable depending on who is in, who is the batter set to do that. Can Josiane do that really? Not sure, but Alice Ikuzwe again will be looking to strike in this over. As she does so, and Alice Ikuzwe strikes in her last over of the spell, having conceded 5 runs in 3.1 with 5 more deliveries to come. How far will Sorwathe go, and can Alice finish things off in style in this very same over? As the last wicket comes in, Josiane Nyirahundineza perishes. Look at that. Ball goes to the pads and makes its way into the stumps. And 70 for 9, 17.1. Rachel Owomugisha comes in, facing Alice Ikuzwe. And Owomugisha will only try to go with a full face of the bat because Alice is looking for that delivery that will be going straight into the timbers. And a run out opportunity not taken. And Himbazwe Sandrine comes on strike as Mugisha Rachel gets off the mark and trying to survive. And you can only survive when you are at the non-striking end. Keep loving being at the non-striking end, because that simply means strike rotation is happening, and you would love that to happen more often. And a run out opportunity not taken really. The pickup from Alice cannot allow that to happen. Umugisha Rachel had taken off way earlier. And that will be just a single. Very well done by Imbazwe Sandrine and Alice to end her spell of 4 overs. Gave away only 7 runs, picked up 2 wickets. And it is a 72 for 9 after 18 overs with 12 more balls to come. How how many how many runs can the two batters get from 12 deliveries? The captain again comes into bowl her last. Nadine Nzaituriki allowed the appeal, the umpire nodding his head that there is nothing. Muhanga Zebras needing just one wicket up in the air, and that will not be taken because the fielder had given it a dive. Himbazwe Sandri will settle for those dot balls. They will be happy. I need to at least get into the 20th over. I need to play full 20 overs. And another dot ball it is. Sorwathe women's pushing through. They get into the 80s. They will have given themselves a fighting total because with their bowling, they can go on and torment you because they chased 80. They actually defended 81 against Charity Women's Cricket Club recently, and Charity ended up losing by 3 runs. That for sure that gives you a hint on what the women's can do in terms of bowling and defending runs, smaller totals in particular. And that will be it for Nzaiturichi Nadine's spell of 4 overs, conceding 11 runs and picking up 2 wickets. At the end of 19 overs, the score reads 74 for 9. And a new bowler coming in. New bowler coming in. The Timbers was scattered, but no ball it was. Itadukunda Joaez to bowl the last. And that simply happens when you come in as a new bowler, bowling at the death. And it will be afraid to start things off. Zimbabwe Sandrine, does she have the ability to strike and to maximize on the free hit? Not really, because it is a dot ball. Facing 4 of 11. From the numbers, she should be the one facing all the 6 deliveries. But again, even a single will do the math for Sorwathe. They will be happy anything in terms of runs, anything that adds to the total, they will be happy. Tossed up, and another dot ball it will be. Umugisha Rachel, not sure what kind of shots she's trying to attempt. Not sure if she's trying to really go after those deliveries. It's the last over, and swings and misses. A run out opportunity, and they will not take that because Rachel and Sandrine, they had taken off way earlier to allow them to sneak in another. To stop again. That will be a run out opportunity, and the finger is up. Did not arrive safely, and that will be it for Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club. Beautifully done by the umpire and the fielding side, as Sorwathe finishes on 78 all out in 19.4 overs. And now Muhanga Zebras will be in need of 79 runs to win their whole allotted 20 overs. Muhanga Zebras will be needing 79 runs to win from their full 20 overs. And this time round, Georgette Ingabire earns her place. Georgette earns her place, opening the batting with Alice Ikuzwe, who will be on strike. And Sorwathe will have to be more and more cautious because the two batters doing very, very well. Alice being second on the batting leaderboard, Georgette being eighth with 69 with an average of 16, strike rate of 93, and Alice being on 129, being the second with an average of 25 with a strike rate of 94, of which I think that will give them an opportunity to go in and contribute to the team. And Alice Ikuzwe having a half century in the tournament, Georgette a half century, and this was recently last week when Georgette came in at number 6 and scored a half century to revive the innings of Muhanga Zebras. And Rosini Deda first up, the captain bowling the first over, starting off with a dot ball. And Alice goes up, goes aerial over the infield. There should be a double. The two batters knows exactly what is needed and knows exactly what is at stake going into this game. And they simply need to try and go after the score because again after here it will be up for the next batters, Francine and the rest of the guys, to come in and be handy with the bat. And Alice, oh good lord, an opportunity, but the throw from Josiane Nyinahundineza at mid-on can never and never allow you to attempt a run out. The throw wasn't quite enough to give them an opportunity because that was an easy run out. And very good at a strike rotation. And Georgette straight gets off the mark with 4 runs conceded in the very first over. And Rosine trying to get a breakthrough. A leg spin here. Pulls a leggy. And Alice goes down on one knee. sweeps, but for just a single. And oh, good lord. Oh, good lord. The captain was not aware of the fielders. The fielding restriction says only two fielders outside the inner ring. And this time round, there were three, thus giving away a no ball. And Georgette would be the one facing a no ball, a, fr- a free hit actually. And turns out to be a dog ball and something you sit and say, I should have done better. Not such a good way to treat a free hit. And end of over number one, 6 runs on board. The required run rate is only 3. And I feel this would be very easy going forward. Irangundineza Josiane will be bowling from the mount end. Again, how can she contribute with the ball in hand? Not managing to contribute more with the bat in hand in terms of runs. And here, much fuller, hit straight the covers region for another dot. They won't be in a rush whatsoever. But again, and that is picked up nicely into the deep. But again, as soon as the ball landed, it slowed down. And that will be just a single. It was an easy pickings. It was an easy picking for Alice as she attempts her favorite shot, but settles for just a single. And Georgette Ingabire will be on strike on this particular delivery. And trying to see if she can access the covers region through the gap, looking at that particular shot that she attempted with 4 deliveries, 2 more to come. Those will be extras. And very, very tight Josiane is. And on the other side, in New Hampshire, having won the toss and opted to bat first, and that is hit properly, and such a lovely, lovely looking shot. Couple of bounces into the boundary for the very first for Muhanga Zebras, and the very first for Ingabire Georgette. Full toast and hit straight. And in that Hampshire managed to post 114 for 5 in their 20 overs, with Wera Sara contributing 37 of 37 with 100% strike rate. Again, Giselle with 28 of 28 with 3 boundaries. And now Gahanga Queens on 10 for Nolos in the first over. Clarice and Shakira Niamhoza doing the business, going for the chase. And Idera Razin will come back. That was hit up in the air. Will this be a boundary? Not really. There is a chase in the deep. Henriette and Josiane Nyirahundineza. The ball are not being able to travel to get to the boundary, because the intent is very clear. You could see the only thing she's looking at is how well can we win the power play. Wanted to sneak in a boundary, but finds nothing. Josiane on your screens. Moving in the deep, change of field. Now dropping a long one in the cow corner. A leg spin here. And the ball will not have enough legs to cross the rope. Simba and Red runs across to do the fielding, and they just get a double. Not bad in terms of how they are executing their plans. And that is smashed as straight as an arrow, and that will be a boundary. The second for Sorwathe, for Muhanga Zebras, and the very first for Alice Ikuzwe. Look at that, offering a width of which Rosin would have done better, would have tried to stop that from getting to the boundary. And eight runs in this same over, 2 twos and a boundary. And Muhanga Zebras trying to go after the score for sure. They have no time to waste. And we get to the end of 3 overs. The score reads 20 for no. And Ishimwe Giselle leading with 190 runs with the highest of 80. Again with a healthy strike rate of 111. For maximum 16 fours and one half century, as well as Alice, one half century, 16 fours, and 4 maximums. Two maximums. And the landscapes of Kigali. And Alice, being the second on the batting chart, again gives her an opportunity to try and push for Muhanga Zebras to go on and carry this win for just today. They they give themselves an opportunity to play tomorrow morning against whoever loses against, between Indatwa Hampshire and the Hunger Queens. And such a lovely stroke. Wanted that from the word go. She was really, really looking for that delivery. She wanted to play that through the covers and finally gets it and gets a boundary. Such a lovely shot. And Josiane offering full and beautifully played, trying to go for just a single. And Georgette looking in things nowadays, playing so good cricket, trying to maneuver the field, try to get runs all over. And that is the beauty of thinking cricketers, I might say, because you've got to think about where you're getting your runs from. If where you've gotten runs, they've put a fielder, how well can I manipulate the field? How well can I pick that very same gap? False start for Josiane Nyirangundineza. Will have to get back and board it again. And the current run rate is at 7. They need 54. 54 more. Not a big ask. Not a big ask, as in they still have 98 deliveries. 98 deliveries now. Still, you've got so much time to be at ease and take the game on. Such a lovely, lovely single. A quick single was taken, but the fielding, oh good lord. And this time round, Alice gets herself out, because there is no way those were 3 runs. Muhanga Zebras loses a big wicket. Look at that, for sure. That was an easy single, very good and well attempted. The second one, very well attempted, but with Georgette having ran and went past the stumps, Alice was like, we need to do the third one, but not really. It wasn't there for sure. And Muhanga Zebras loses the first. as Sorwathe Women's will be happy for the breakthrough. 13 of 15 deliveries will be Alice and Wase Nyerukundo Tanya to come in, joining Ngabire Georgette, who is unbeaten, 10 of 8, and looking forward to see how she takes the game on. How does she make sure that she controls the game going forward? Because the game lies between the two batters in. Tanya gets straight off the mark. You could hear shouts from the dugout, trying to tell them not to take risky runs. And Georgette will have to play a part in trying to guide Tanya on how to adjust and go about the innings. 51 more runs needed from 96. And that will be 16 overs. The ask is only 3, and they're going at 7, which will allow them to keep the game going. And Sylvia will be coming in to bowl from the road end. Tossed up and outside off stump for just a dot ball to start things off. And we'll have to make sure she maintains her lines, because Tanya makes good use of loose balls. And of course, the big hitter, Georgette Ngabire, who will also make sure that gives nothing away in terms of opportunities. Tossed up, and that is hit through the gap. It should be a double. Tanya, that wasn't connected very well, but again allow them to go for a double. And Tanya goes on the leg side, gets another single. Now they've got their 4 runs in the over with 3 more deliveries to come. tossed up, and such a lovely shot that is. Goes down on one knee. Opts to go for a sweep shot. And to me, that is another lose. There's no way you would want to go on the leg side. Leg side is fully packed. Deep square leg in place. Cow corner in place. And the ball is moving away from you. And a chance. And put down. A catching opportunity. And puts down at mid-off. Look at that. Easiest of the catches. And that is another opportunity that went begging. 5 overs down, 34 for 1. Look at the blue worm there moving upwards. Nothing like a curve coming downwards, because they've started very, very well at 34. 34 inside 5 overs, with one more over to complete the power play. Cleans are over. And that is Kamire Apumusa comes into ball from the mount end. And Tanya Wasenia Rukundo exposes her stumps. And Kamire came in and looking for those timbers and gets them. Muhanga Zebras loses another. It is Tanya. Look at that. And tries to go across the line. I've seen Tanya going across the line for so many occasions, getting bowled for so many occasions. And this time round, it meant a lot. It meant a lot this time, because they are playing the Eliminator. Winning this one will give them a slight opportunity to get through to the finals. Dorian Nakuzwe comes in to join Ingabire Georgette. And 45 more runs needed from 89 balls. And those will be extras, 2 of them. And of course, as a captain, Rosini Data, there is no way you can be happy for that. striking on the very first delivery and giving away now freebies. Sorwathe now starting to be very cautious after losing Alice and Tanya as well. Their key batters. Lovely shot down the ground, finding Josiane Nyirankundineza at long off for just a single. Now it will be for Dorian to give a hand to cash in terms of the rotation of strike. Deep square leg and the cow corner. Oh, good lord. And another one bites the dust for Muhanga Zebras. And Sorwathe Women's gets another wicket. It is Dorian Nakuzwe straight at the stumps. You miss a hit and exposes the timbers. And Kamire can only do so much. And another one goes. Dorian Nakuzwe goes for naught on the very first delivery and without troubling the scorers at all. 37 for 3 in 5.4 overs. And Sorwathe will be happy because what they do best is they keep the discipline in terms of bowling lines and lengths. They only bowl at the stumps. You miss a hit will be the statement. And now, in most occasions, it will be up to you as a batter to keep the game going. Because Abu Musa, with 2 more deliveries to come, will she strike? Can Lilian Umutoni get off the mark? Can the scoreboard keep ticking? Because now the run rate required has dropped to 2.9 with 42 more runs needed from 86 deliveries. With 2 more to come to complete over number 6, Kamire bowling the 5th. Again, more extras, more and more. 2 more now added to make it 39. And we'll have to re-bowl that. How well can she come back? And that's up in the air. Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord. And such a big wicket. Such a big wicket is gone. At times, those deliveries, you've got to leave them alone. Again, that particular shot is one of her strengths. Sorwathe goes back into the dugout with only 12 off 12. And for sure, that was a big wicket. Look at the runs column doing so good. The wickets column, a different story, because some of the key batters of the team have been dismissed. Alice, Sorwathe, Tanya, and now the captain comes in. Can the captain keep the game going? The last delivery. survives on that one. Bit of inside edge. Should find leg fielder Henriette for just a single. And after 6 overs, it is 39 for 4. Shimwe Gihozo Divin comes into the attack as well from the rod end. And that delivery could have caused a lot of troubles. And the score moves to 40. And again, more 39 needed to win. Dot balls it will be. Again, what does dot balls do when you're chasing a total, a certain score? Extras keep piling up. When chasing down a certain score, again having lost your key batters, how well will you adjust? Because again, you do not want to play catch up cricket, trying to trying to play catch up runs and balls remaining. You do not want to get yourself into such a situation. And such a lovely shot, the on drive, finding Josiane Nyirangundineza for just a single. And look at the run rate required, only 2.7. That simply means they do not want to put themselves on pressure at all, because the run rate required just under 3 runs, and they are easily getting 3 runs, unless you do not want to stretch the game. An appeal, and that looked very close, and the finger is up. I'm telling you, Sorwathe, they are looking very okay, very composed, very calm. They look to be in control. And look at that. Looked very, very close. That's a very, very good decision from the umpire, Evode Mutuimana. And Mtoni Lillian goes for naught. And a 42 for 5 in 6.5 overs. Wase Deborah comes in, a youngster left-handed batter. The captain and Deborah, can they push through? That's the question. And getting only 2 or 3 runs and over will stretch the game into the 20th over. Oh, good Lord. Not really, because another one is down. Caught and bowled. Shimeji Hozo even filled from her own bowling. Such a lovely take. Look at that. Oh, good Lord. Another one is gone. Wase Deborah, without troubling the scorers at all. It is 42 for 6. And Sorwathe in need of 4 wickets to win. And Muhanga Zebras are still a long way to go. A long way to go for Muhanga Zebra. Can the captain herself do something? Because he, Muhanga Zebra, will be needing an extraordinary inning from one of the batters. And the captain, to be specific, because she could be very handy with runs as we get to the end of the 7th over. 42 for 6 as Kamire Abumusa comes back into the attack. Having picked 2 wickets in her first, that's it. That is hit down the ground. Get a single from that. That's the captain on your screens, making sure that nothing is comfortable to the batters and making sure that even the fielding team, the team doesn't feel at ease. Oh, good Lord. Taken off way late. And look at the throw. It is always very important to be alert. And the throw back to the bowler's hands wasn't very accurate. Nothing behind it to allow them to attempt a run out because it was really there. That is hit. Oh, a collision there. A collision by the 2 batters. And the keeper can never hesitate because the keeper is right on the money. The ball in hand. Some collision from the batters. Look at that. Rachel making sure that the ball doesn't go. Gave it a slide. And it is a 44 for 7. And for sure, Sorwathe at it this time round, giving nothing away. And the batter, maybe the dugout wasn't sure if that was given out because that was very clear that it is out. Sorwathe now trying to smell a victory here because with 3 wickets to win, yes, the captain is still in, Zaituri Chinadin, but again, the captain Can she do that alone? And not really. I do not think so. She will need a support from the batters. Kamire Abumusa strikes again. The captain Nzaituri Shinadin trying so hard to sneak in those singles. And look at the run rate required on your screens. Only 2.7 and the current is 6. So there is a need to keep rotating the strike. There is a need to not throw the wickets. Kamire Abumusa bowling her second, having only conceded 8, having picked up 3 wickets. And that will be Anastasia Mushimimana. How well can she support the captain? And will be staying just there to survive through this over, maybe. But again, for as long as you can stay there. You're not getting runs. And how far can you do that? And 8 overs down. And the score reads 44 for 7. Deep square leg, cow corner, long on in place as Gihozo Divine Ishimwe comes back to bowl from the rod end. Having conceded 2, picked up 2. Very handy with the ball in hand. Didn't do much with the bat in hand, but had to make sure that she cashes in. And there she goes, asking so many questions to the stamps of Nzaituri Shinadin. And still, there is still a long way to go for both teams for sure. Beautiful look delivery. And Nadine trying to take on Divine. Again, if you look at where she's targeting to hit the rough, there are fielders in the deep. And the biggest of all will be now trying to get those singles in, try and pace through the gap on the offside, because that is where you can get runs so easily. If you can hit and clear the rope good enough, dot balls keeps piling up. And such a good start they had earlier on with Alice and Georgette. But when Alice got out, the story changed. Short pitch delivery, and that is powerfully hit through the gap for a boundary. And for sure, that's what we talked about just in few seconds ago. So many gaps on the offside. If you can manage to get through those gaps on the offside, then you are good to go. Unlike trying to access the lakeside region where there are fielders and all the fielders patrolling the boundary are on the lakeside. That can give you a hint on what to do and how to go about the game as a batter and as a set batter. Nadine Nzaiturihi. And again, if I was Nadine Zaiturihi, I will make sure that I face so many deliveries. That last ball, always look to rotate and get the strike for the next over. Again, I didn't have a thought about it, but that was much needed because Mushimima and Anastasi, not sure if you can rely on Anastasi to win your game, as in not undermining her abilities, but with what we see technically, the approach towards the game, Nadine is more and more aware than Anastasia. That simply means get yourself on strike and make sure you cash in those 3 runs and over and keep the strike for the next over because you've got only 3 wickets in hand. Oh, beautifully done. And that will be a double. And Anastasia proving me wrong this time. Sneaking in a double. Much needed. As they get into the 20s, 29 more runs needed. We are in the 10th over. Dot ball it is, and the dugout applauding for the two batters. Anastasia doing so well. And that's what you would need from anyone inside trying to look for runs. Three more deliveries to come. Can Anastasia survive the next 3 deliveries? Kamire bowling. Oh, good lord. Missing the stumps with inches. And again, you've got 2 runs. Try and get a single, get on the other side to at least get the runs needed in the over. If not, make sure that you keep the strike. Then let the captain now get the strike the very next over. And gets 2 in this over. Kamire, very economical. 10 from 3 overs. Picked up 3 more. You could see Alice shouting on what to be done in the middle, as the highest score in the tournament so far was 147 for 7. Gahanga Queens playing against Indatwa Maidens. And halfway the innings, 50 for 7. Sylvia Usabyimana, ball the 11th. Oh, good lord, that was moving away from the batter. Simply means missing the stumps because the ball is turning square. With Nadine Nzaitorichi on strike. Nadine trying to access lakeside region. And Sylvia still has that one particular good delivery in the over yet to arrive with 4 more deliveries. Not really, but 3 this time. 3 dot balls. Required run rate has jumped to 3 now. Nadine swings the bat, finds nothing. And this is where maturity comes in. You've got to keep playing around yourself. 5 dot balls in a row. And you're still looking for 3 runs and over. And for sure, the easiest math that you can get in a cricket game. Allowed appeal and not given. Looked very close, but Sylvia bowls the ball moving away from the batter. And you could see that the ball is moving away. And Zaiturichi Nadine missing out on this particular over. A maiden over. And the only partnership that played a big part was Alice and Georgette. 27 of 24. Alice contributing 15. And Georgette contributing only 10. The rest is come and go, come and go, come and go. And Anastasia and Nadine, 6 of 21, is still hanging. There is still a long way to go. Very doable, but it will depend on what the captain does because the game lies between the two, including the captain herself. Kamire comes back to bowl her last, picked up 3, conceded 10. And Anastasia moving away from the stumps. It is always advisable to try and get behind the ball. Find a gap, get a single, go on the other side. And loose ball this time around. And Anastasia maximizes on that to get a boundary, a much needed boundary for Muhanga Zebras. And look at that full tossed delivery. And the outfield again, very dry. Anything that's hit past a fielder that it goes miles. And for sure they've got what they wanted or what they needed in the over. 4 runs. They required is 3. They've got 4. They will be happy for this because it is at the end of the over. Kamire finishes her spell of overs, conceded 14 and picked up 3 wickets. And the score is 54 for 7 after 12. Rosine Irera comes back. Can she get a breakthrough? That's hit powerfully down the ground, finding long on fielder in place for just a single, and a much needed one. And now it will be for Anastasia to get more singles from this over. Now an interesting field, Rosine. No fielder is outside the inner ring, trying to make Anastasia stay on strike to apply pressure, and as well as trying to pile dot balls on. Four balls with 1 run, with 2 more to come. Anastasia, she's watching the ball for sure, but again the contact. She look at the downswing, closing off way early. Oh, good lord, trying to go for a sweep, and again having in mind that all fielders are inside the inner ring, trying to hit it hard to at least sneak in some runs. And 13 overs down, 55 for 7, 20 more, 4 more runs needed from 42 balls. And Didera Rosin still has 1 more over. As Josiane Nyirangudineza comes back to bowl from the mound end. Josiane again being very experienced, having played so many T20 internationals for the national team. She should be very handy. She should be able to share the experience in terms of delivering, and that is hit and finds Sylvia in the dip, and they will settle for just a single. And the issue now will be Anastasia being on strike. How can she get off strike? Because now everyone comes back in. Again, Anastasia, knowing that all the fielders are inside, she's trying so hard to tap on that, because anything that goes through the inner ring fielders, it will be a double or a boundary. She had shown that she can hit one. Any loose ball. Oh, good lord, extras to make it 22 more runs needed from 40 deliveries. Sorwathe have done so well in dismissing the key batters, Alice and Georgette, way earlier. And that's what you would love to do. Fast up. Anastasia, 6 of 21, as well as the captain, 9 of 22. And for sure, you will have to make your way cruising to victory, because at this particular stage of the game, everything is very, very possible. The two teams are eyeing for tomorrow's game, tomorrow morning's game, against one of the two teams playing qualifier one, that is in Dato Hampshire and Gahanga Queens. Whoever loses will play whoever wins this side between Muhanga Zebras and Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club. And Anastasia trying to get off strike but gets nothing. And Sorwathe will be very happy because they still want Anastasia to be on strike, because they know that once the captain Zaiturichi Nadine gets off strike, Anastasia coming in is an opportunity to keep things going and keep things tight, because once the balls catch the runs, they will start to play catch up game. And when the captain is still in there, pressure will be on as well. You'll be asked now to try so hard, to try and swing the bat hard, to see if you can sneak in a boundary at least. They're getting a single from every first ball for the last 3 overs. They've got a single from here. All the fielders are going to come in, and exactly they are doing so. And after that, Anastasia will be on strike. If she doesn't get off strike, then that will be troubles, because it's only 5.5 overs to go. 22, pardon, is 21 off. Is it 35 balls? Cleans are over. And that was a straight on to the stumps. And Muhanga Zebras will lose another, the 8th wicket down. And that's what they were looking for from the start. Mushimimana Anastasia being on strike, 6 of 25. Not good enough, really. Had pushed, but in terms of overs, not runs, because the partnership between Anastasia and Nadine not good enough to give them a victory this afternoon. 21 more runs needed from 34 deliveries. And a new batter coming in. Can she at least try to connect some balls? Can she try and rotate the strike? The required run rate is 3.7. How well can they get 3 point runs and over? Because the current is 4, but even the 3, they are not getting it. Radukunda Joaez, and a run out opportunity, and for sure it is taken. Look at the celebrations from Rosine. A straight hit. And that was properly done. Look at that. The striker, the arrival. It was going to take time. Nowhere in the frame. And Rosina celebrates with a dance. Muhanga Zebras losing their ninth. Hakunda Joaez goes after facing just one delivery. Now Sorwathe Women's Cricket Club smelling a victory. Sorwathe smelling a victory here with one more wicket to win. Wimana Diane comes in to join the cup. Dot ball to keep things going from Jehozo Divine. With two more deliveries to come. And on the other side, qualifier one, Gahanga Queens. Gahanga Queens cruising with an easy win this afternoon against Ndatua Hampshire. Oh, good Lord. This should be it. And that will be it for Muhanga Zebras. A run out. And it was taken properly. That is the captain. Very happy for what they have done. Picked one time and such a lovely end to throw at. And for sure, that was gone. Nadine and the team losing this one, losing this game, and it was looking like it's going Muhanga Zebra's way, but throwing this one away. Muhanga Zebras finishing on 58 in inside 15 overs. And Gahanga Queens managing to win by 6 wickets, chasing down 114. And that simply means Sorwathe Women's wins this game by 20 runs. And tomorrow morning's game, it will be Sorwathe Women's playing against Ndatua Hampshire. Ikuzwe Alice, 15 off 16, started off very well. Georgette started off very well, 12 off 12. Nadine, the captain, 10 off 25. Very, very tight it was. Anastasia, 6 off 25. Dot balls were too many, but they couldn't be able to cross the line because the bowling scorecard reads Kamiri Abumsa 3 wickets, Jihozo Divine 3 with an economy of 2.4, and 3 wickets apiece, Kamiri and Ishimwe Jihozo Divine. with 9 extras bowled inside 15 overs. And in response, Muhanga Zebras posting 58 all out. Alice have bowled very well, 2 for 7, and 2 for 14 was Anastasia. But the pick of the day was Shimnejozo Divine, 3 for 7 in her 2.5 overs. Sorwathe wins by 20 runs, and they will be playing in Dato Hampshire, who just lost their game against Gahanga Queens and losing the game by 6 wickets. And that simply means Gahanga Queens are through to the finals tomorrow in the afternoon. And we'll be catch up shortly at the post-match presentation.